What it do? You know what day it is.
It's Shit Talking Sunday.
With the bros. And hey, we kicking it off. It's Mother's Day this Sunday, so we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, all the mother figures, and we want to extend our love and appreciation for everyone. Y'all care for us, y'all nurture us, y'all feed us, y'all protect us, y'all satisfy us, y'all give us everything we need. So it's nothing. The world would be nothing without a mother. Speaking for myself personally, I want to even shout out to the people who may not be in a good space or in a different space with that mother. I know me personally, my relationship has been different and strange at times with my mother because things that have happened. And, I want to work towards trying to be better and rebuild bridges that sometimes have eroded or crumbled. But if you have your mother, reach out to her, love her, tell her you love her, express, appreciation. You would not be here without her. So I think we always need to, be reminded of that. And most of all, I want to extend my own condolences to those who are, having to go through this day without their mother. And the reason I know this is because of my dog. He lost his mother when we were small kids due to cancer. So, I know even when we were younger, it'd be days when, it'd be Mother's Days when he wouldn't be in the mood, or, I would have to call him and check on him. My birthday being so close, I could remember times when it was my birthday on Mother's Day and I'll be wanting to go do something, but I already knew that,
I wasn't feeling it.
You wouldn't be feeling
Mm-hmm.
it, because it was Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe you could speak on, what it's like, because, like I said, I got my mom, but we was what, 11?
I was 11
10?
years. I was 11 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 11 years old. Yeah, 11 years old.
So we damn near 40. So that's almost 30 years.
It's the weirdest thing because like everything's so situational, and it's like everybody's process gonna be different. So it's so natural. Like even today one of them days I'm not. It's not a down Mother's Day, but it's always a hint of like, boom, don't skip posting your mom. You feel me? Everybody
feel obligated to do it.
Not obligated, but you feel like, damn, bitch, I can't get in the club. I'm left out. I ain't no don't skip without posting your mom, bitch. Yeah, I mean you got the picture, but it's gonna hit different if I post my mom this picture and your mom here. You feel me? It's a different. It makes me feel different. It's like, but it's some years it's like this, some years it's not. But you learn how to cope with it.
All right, but see.
But look, before we go. But early on, like being a kid, you really don't know how to navigate that shit.
I was about to ask you that. How you feel being a kid?
You don't know how to navigate that.
That's what I was about to ask.
Hey, shout out to my dog Jesus. Jesus' birthday today. Long live Jesus.
Long live Jesus.
Shout out to Olga. Supermom. My dog Jesus passed a few years back. Tony is like 1,000 times stronger than me. Like I'm watching this shit. Like dude really could commute. He can talk about it openly. Niggas thought I was strong. I just put that shit in
You compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize the fuck out of it. Yeah. You heard me? Like I'm talking about, cause like you will feel like, man, nigga feel like less than. Like it's a lot of mental. It's how you come up socially at that point, cause you would nigga, man, I didn't know nobody who lost their mama boy at 11 years old.
Alright, then I gotta think about it like this. When you lost your mom, there was no social media.
Hell no.
So you probably had to experience a whole new phenomenon when you saw people, or even if you saw me expressing my love for my mama on the internet. And then that ain't make you feel no type of way.
No, cause my people mama always took me in and I call them mom.
I mean, I know how you feel about my
Yeah,
mama.
this is what I'm saying. So it's not like my people, cause y'all mamas in there, my friend's mama show me love.
Right.
I was really blessed to have 3 mother figures though, like my mama, then T, Geraldine Brewer,
Yeah,
Shauna.
T.
You know what I'm saying?
T was like a mama to me.
And my stepmama, Cheryl.
Right.
So like it's like, but going through my mama passing so young, when T passed, that shit like.
I was there for that, so yeah, yeah,
Man.
yeah, that was.
You heard me? Like,
Man.
boy, that rip, boy. But I was ripped, but I had already been, so I mentioned it.
Shout out Reggie.
Shout out to Reggie.
Shout out Reggie.
Shout out to Joe.
The way Reggie handled that showed me how strong he was. It's just Reggie. Like, that's all credit to Reggie.
Man,
But
that shit, boy,
I'm gonna say this because I used to check on you because I know how close I was to my mama, and I used to always have my mama on Mother's Day, and I knew how close you was to. You damn near would be at my house on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And with my mom, we be doing something going on.
Miss Jamie showed major love. Like that's why it's love. So it's not like
like you didn't get to express it. Or get to feel it.
That was the issue. I would say to anybody who go through that, shit, it's okay to not be okay. One, everybody process different, but you know, you don't have to spiral either, and it's okay to express it.
Should they maybe look for someone because they probably have someone who's willing to be that?
Everybody needs a sounding board for sure, but you gotta be comfortable expressing it. I wasn't comfortable. I was 11 when it happened. I wasn't comfortable expressing it till college. That's when I really, like, when I got to college, I'm really, like, writing papers about this shit. Like, really, you know, they gonna give you a sick project in college.
Right.
I'm about to write a paper about this. I'm about to write a whole story about this real situation, though. You heard me? Like, so once I started doing shit like that, and like that, like, I was able to talk about it freely and, like, you know, but before then, I couldn't. Bitch, boy, to this day, that Boys the Men, mama. Boy, I fucking hate that song. That bitch came out like around the same era. Boy, I hate that song. That bitch put me in my feelings. You know I man, that bitch put me in my feelings, boy. Every time, boy. I'm talking.
Hey, I'll never forget. We was at St. Francis one time, and this man was talking to us about appreciating our mamas, and he told us about he was like, one day your mama gonna die. And I guess that just went over everybody else's head. They weren't worried about that. But then for some reason that shit hit me, and I was like, damn, my mama gonna die one day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be out here one day without my mom. And I cried to the point they had to call my mom, but my mama had to be like, baby, I'm all right. Now, I'm gonna say all that because we have two stark different situations. And I've watched him cope and deal with his. He's also watched me progress and deal with mine because, and I mean, I ain't gonna get too deep into it. We'll say that conversation for another day. I'll cry about it at another time. But I do know because I talked to a lot of people, and I even saw, what hit me was I saw today a student of mine, a former student of mine that was talking about the lack of relationship she had with her mother. And I think a lot of people don't think about how, you know, we always talk about deadbeat fathers. I always talk about that. People don't realize about the strenuous relationships people have with their mothers and the traumatic and detrimental effects that your relationship with your mother can have. You know what I'm saying? You might even say you not losing your mama at 11 could have hindered your relationship with women, or even your relationship with people, or your relationship on how to love and how to trust.
Socially?
You know what I'm saying? Just it's so many aspects socially.
Yeah, it's so many aspects socially. You're out of here socially.
All right, to put it into an effect, I'll just say, and shout out my dog Bailey, and if y'all continue to rock with us, you're gonna know a lot about him because I'm gonna always keep his name alive. But me and him used to talk about, you know, our mothers all the time because we used to look at each other like, man, we probably disappoint our mamas because of the shit that we was doing. You know, we out here fucking up. Like, But we be like, man, we probably disappoint our mamas. But he would always use this analogy. He'd be like, man, you know, socially, little girls are raised with dolls and babies, and they're trained damn near since they're small to be mothers. So they look forward to the day of having a child, and especially being like that firstborn child to a woman is a special bond and a connection. And so when he told me that, we was in like high school when we was having these in-depth conversations. And I'll never forget, that made me think later on, it made me appreciate my relationship with my mama. So when something happened that made me question that relationship, because now I gotta question the person that taught me how to love. I gotta question the person that taught me about God. I gotta question the person that really taught me how to eat, speak, spell my name, everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you broke that trust with me, and I'm not, and like I said, I'm not about to get just in depth with it, but you talk, and I'm not talking about like, oh, you know, my mama stole $100 from me. I ain't talking about broke that kind of trust. I'm like, you broke the trust on what the relevance of my existence is, and what the circumstances of me, you know, my being. When you talk about stuff like that, and that affects you, or you talk about the absence of a mother, right? Or you talk about the abuse of a mother, and you know, you gotta think, it's so many more people in the world dealing with that. Like, we talk about just not having one, right? But think about the people who got one and don't want the one they got.
Yeah. That's different. I can't imagine it though. You feel me?
Right. Because you in a different department.
You don't think, yeah.
And you in a department. You know what I'm saying? And that's rightfully your position to say, hey, I can't feel that because I feel this.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a lot of people who got good relationships with their parents. And I ain't talking just mothers, I'm talking about mothers and fathers. And I'll be honest, mine ain't just copacetic, right? And so I look at people that do have these just great niched relationships, and I'm like, man, you know, what that's like. Like,
so it's still a question on here, just
but they have no idea.
Yeah.
Just think, if you grew up in a 2-family household where your parents, you our age, you 40, about to be, you know, you damn near 40, and you got both your parents still live together in the same house all your life, and that's all you know. You would think everybody else got it like that.
Yeah. I can see it.
Then if you don't have a mother, your mother might have died, or she might even just be absent. So we'll just say she's not there. You may say, oh, well, at least you got yours. But then you got somebody on the other side of the table say, well, you don't want mine.
Yeah, no, that's why I say that a lot of that should be situational.
Like,
bro.
yeah, man.
That's why I say, like, when, you know, it be like that internet shit, you know, and niggas be like, oh, you know, don't take your mother for granted, which is low hanging fruit.
Right. That's easy to say. Like,
but I would say, like, just be intentional about their relationship, because it's like, it's a situation of, everybody's situation different. If they got nigga A who mama done did X, and he standing on business, and he like, if mom go today, I'm gonna feel the same way. That's how they mean. I'm not gonna force you just because I don't have my mama to work. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, you feel like that. Y'all got to fix that. That ain't. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that just because my mama not here. I don't feel like that.
Right.
I feel like that shit situational. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of niggas will be like, nah, man, fuck that. Nah, I didn't live through that. I can't, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you, right? Be intentional.
But intentional, either way, either side. You know what I'm saying?
Right, be intentional. if I had to use one word, it'd be honest. Be honest.
Yeah.
Like, and I tell people all the time, if the only way things will change or grow or progress is if you will be honest where you are in the moment where you're at. So that means that if you want to change something from day to day, you gotta realize, you gotta look in the mirror every morning and say, this is where I'm at and this is where I'm trying to get to. But the first part, before you say where I'm trying to get to, you gotta acknowledge where you at.
You gotta acknowledge where you at.
So that's why I always tell people, if you ain't shit, you ain't gonna never be shit until you look in the mirror and you be like,
I ain't shit.
I ain't shit.
Yeah.
And then once you realize that, that's the first step. The first step of anything, addiction, anything. Like, I've been part of that. The first step is admittance.
Yeah.
Admitting you have a problem. All right. So you have to be honest. Like, a lot of people, I think, a lot of people go along with their parents. And I'm going to say this, and this is something I tell a lot of people. I'm a Muslim, but the Ten Commandments is still something that is etched in all faiths and denominations in some way, shape, or form. The Ten Commandments tell you to what your father and mother. It don't say nothing about love or light. It don't say nothing about love or light.
Yeah.
It says honor them. Your parents are with unequivocally, without a doubt, the reason you here.
Yeah.
And because of that, you should honor them. But that does not mean that you have to like how they raise you, treat you, speak to you, whatever. That don't mean you got to love it neither. But you should always honor them. And I learned that with the progression of how life went with my own parents, that I didn't like a lot about how a lot went. And I didn't love a lot about how a lot went. But I'ma still honor them. Not just because they had me. They raised me. They paid for me to go to nice private Catholic schools. It was in the hood, St. Francis Xavier, shout out South Baton Rouge. And then I got to go to Catholic High. But that didn't always mean that it was something I liked to love. And I think that's where we are as a society psychologically, is that we have to start acknowledging those depths. Yeah, like I say, man, I done watched you as my best friend. I done watched you many Mother's Days, many just periods. And I know now, because I know it happens less. But I remember when we was younger, when we was in college age, when you still had your days. Mm-hmm. You just be like, I ain't just messing with nothing. Like, I already knew.
But see, shit like that, that's why I still have them days now. Like, I just don't feel like fucking with nothing. But you know the crazy thing? I'm going to tell you something else. Another, like, this probably going to be like a against the grain for as social media meme thinking, right? It's like, I don't think about that shit every day. You know how, like, and I'm not saying that people who say this don't think, they're not thinking about this every day. I'm not saying that, but, that's the thing. Like, a day don't go by. Man, I don't think about that every day.
Like, you're not just up there just every day waking up thinking about this. Like, what was me?
No.
Right.
It don't go like that at a certain point, though, but it took time. It took time.
And again, I'm going to bring him up, and I'm going to always bring him up. Bailey. Like, Bailey was, like, the first, like, death that... Like, my grandparents died, and if y'all hear anything in the background, that's my baby girl. I guess we done been going too long. When Bailey died, I was like, okay, that was the first death that really hit. My grandparents died, but it's like it's your grandparents. Mm-hmm. So, like...
That close friend death...
That hit you harder than anything else, cause they like, ooh,
that
like,
bit
they
different.
were like, ooh, shit.
Yeah.
Like death is like, oh god damn.
That bit different.
And I can say that I got to the point. No, I don't. And I might get on Facebook and post, "Oh, I'm thinking about you every day," and yeah, that's true. But I'm not like, "Oh man, I miss my dog every day." But there will be days, and maybe even a week or 2 weeks. Like every time around my birthday, I get sad about two people. My grandfather, because he died the day after my birthday in Bailey, and I get upset about Bailey, because he was somebody that used to always celebrate my birthday with me. But I can understand what you're saying about, and I know we got off topic, but I can understand what you're saying about not thinking about it every day. But this is the point I really wanted to try to make is you always have people, and I always used to see this, and because I've seen this on Facebook over the last couple of years, where people are going out their way to acknowledge the people who don't have their mothers anymore. And I also want to send love out to, because I know that there are people who I know personally who I've seen this week on social media who have lost their mothers, right? And so I know today is extra hard because people are expressing their love and you don't have anyone to express their love to.
Man, look, and it's okay to feel played. Like, it's
right.
cool. Like, that feeling,
you got to process
feel
it. You got to process
that little played feeling, man, skip that story.
If you want, it's like, right. If you cussing everybody out, like, if y'all ain't y'all mamas, I'm not mad at you for saying that today. Like, because you don't have your mama. But like, you have a right to say that.
Get off that bitch.
Get off social media. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, but it's cool. Like, you ain't tripping. You ain't alone. They got buku people who going through what you going through too. You heard me? Like, just take your own time, take your own journey, but express yourself.
But I also think, and I wanna end this with raising the awareness for the people whose mothers are here. And you may have an absent, an estranged, abusive, and I'm gonna be honest, in my case, just downright just confusing, because, like I said, maybe one day I'll speak on it. I know my mother wouldn't like it, but it is what it is. And like I said, I gotta call her back right after this, because she called me, but we was kind of doing stuff. So I called her. I called her, and she didn't answer at the time. But I just want to say, Mama, I love you. I'm a is what it is type person, but I might cry about it, but I ain't gonna stay crying about it, and we gonna work past it, and we gonna figure something out. But to the people who feel like, man, I got my mama, and I can't express that to her, just talk to them. It ain't always gotta be an I love you. It might, you know what? It might actually be an I hate you. Them words might come out easier for a lot of people sometimes than the I love you. And sometimes just getting the emotion flowing, whether it's that or the other, I think is positive, rather than just staying silent. Because one thing that I always feel is, if you have your parents, letting them go without ever telling them how you really feel. You know what I'm saying? And I know, like I said, I know it's a lot of people. And this is just from me being a teacher, educator. I know it's a lot of kids, man. The number one thing they talk to me about is, in the words of Will Smith, my parents just don't understand. Parents just don't understand, right? And that's because we know now, at 40, we're different than what we grew up in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got a little girl, I got 2 little girls, I got a son. Like, we don't know where the world can take them. If for as much as we are controlled into their lives, we still don't control their lives. Okay. So, I got my kids ask me all the time, what if Jace come home and be gay, and I know I got little girls who can be easily influenced into, all kind of lifestyles, right? You know, we talk about them listening to Sexy Red and you know all that, but we don't control all that. So even for us, we gotta grow to open our minds, right? And I say that to say this: being a parent ain't fucking easy, and so I can understand for some of the stuff that you can be mad about your mother or even just your parent. We ain't gonna just say just a mother even today. If you are a parent, you can understand sometimes some things. Mm-hmm. Like some stuff ain't so easily explained.
Yeah.
Some stuff ain't so easy for me to explain. Mm-hmm. Right? Some stuff I did try to just push under the rug. I did just try to shield you from, right? And that's okay. So, from the bros, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, to those that are here, to those that are in heaven, to those that are absent, get back present, to those that are estranged, get back familiar in communication. You know, we need that in our community. We need to build these family bonds. So for me and my dog's franchise, Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.